Grief has terrible timing. It can leave you alone for weeks and then appear in the middle of a grocery store. You see a brand they used to buy. You hear someone laugh like them. You reach for your phone before remembering there is no longer anyone to call. And suddenly, the loss is not in the past. It is standing beside you. People often imagine grief as a path. First, you are devastated. Then slowly, you improve. Eventually, you reach the end and move on. But grief rarely behaves so politely. It moves in circles. It hides inside ordinary objects. It returns on birthdays, holidays, and random Tuesday afternoons. And when it returns, people sometimes panic. I thought I was doing better. You were. The return of pain does not erase your progress. It only means love left more than one memory behind. When someone dies or permanently leaves your life, you do not lose them once. You lose them repeatedly. You lose them when something happens that they would have understood. You lose them when you achieve something and realize they will never see it. You lose them when your life enters a chapter they were supposed to be part of. The first loss is the person. The later losses are all the futures that no longer include them. That is why grief can change shape over time. At first, you may grieve their presence. Years later, you may grieve their absence from a version of your life that did not exist when they died. A wedding, a child, a graduation, a new home. You are not returning to the beginning. You are meeting the loss from a new place. And grief is not only sadness. Sometimes it is anger. You may feel angry at doctors, relatives, fate, God, or the person who died. Then you may feel guilty for being angry. Sometimes grief is relief, especially after a long illness or a painful relationship. Then guilt arrives again. How can I feel relieved if I love them? Because human emotions are not moral documents. They are responses. Relief does not cancel love. Anger does not cancel love. Laughter does not betray the dead. You do not have to remain miserable to prove that someone mattered. That belief can quietly trap people. They begin protecting their pain because pain feels like the last remaining connection. If I heal, will I forget them? If I enjoy life, am I leaving them behind? But healing is not forgetting. It is learning to remember without being destroyed every time. And there is no correct schedule. Some people cry immediately. Others become practical. They arrange the funeral, answer messages, handle paperwork, and support everyone else. Months later, when the crisis is over and people stop checking in, their grief finally arrives. Delayed grief is still grief. A quiet reaction is still a reaction. There is no prize for grieving in the most recognizable way. But there are ways people accidentally make grief heavier. They isolate completely. They avoid saying the person's name. They remove every reminder before they are ready. Or they force themselves to remain constantly surrounded by reminders because letting go of anything feels disloyal. There is no universal rule about photographs, belongings, or rituals. The question is not, what should a grieving person do? The question is, what helps you remain connected to life while honoring what was lost? Maybe you tell stories. Maybe you cook their favorite meal. Maybe you keep one object close. Maybe you speak to them privately. Maybe you create something in their name. A relationship does not necessarily end when a person dies. The form of the relationship changes. You can no longer receive new memories with them, but you can continue developing your relationship with what they gave you. Their words may guide a decision. Their humor may appear in the way you speak. Their kindness may continue through how you treat another person. This is not pretending they are still physically here. It is recognizing that love leaves consequences. Grief does too. On difficult days, do not ask yourself to accept the entire loss again. That is too large. Ask what this particular moment needs. A conversation? Rest? A walk? A few minutes to cry without explanation? Grief becomes unbearable when you try to carry every future day at the same time. Carry this hour, then the next one. One day, the memory that once only caused pain may also bring warmth. You may smile before you cry. Then, eventually, you may smile without crying. That will not mean you love them less. It will mean their memory has found a gentler place to live.